we have the smartest people in this country. We created an energy market that the world now emulates and tries to copy. We can do better, and we will do better. Those of you who are business persons, let me encourage you to get ready for an open Houston to the world. Right now, come on. For too long, we have burdened local taxpayers by taxing their properties, by raising leases and licenses and permits. We can do better than that. We have an opportunity to expand and communicate with the entire world in terms of business development. Those of you who have connections to Egypt, I want you to get them ready, because we're going to open up the boundaries of this city to business and trade with Egypt. Yes. Those of you who have connections in Central America, get ready. We're going to have, in fact, Michael, with your help, we're going to create what we call the Central America Union here in the city of Houston. Just as we have the United Nations, we're going to have the Central America Union here in Houston, where all nations, all countries, all cities that want to transact business in the Central American states will come to Houston, Texas, in order to conduct their business. I think that's a wonderful idea.
Yes, it is.
At the end of the enterprise, our effort is not simply to open up our boundaries, but rather to lessen the tax burden on our local citizens. People are leaving the city of Houston because we're burdening them too harshly.
Yes.
The taxes are just too high. So that if we can expand this economic base, this business base in the city, the consequence should be, and Michael, I want you to fight with me on this, the consequence should be that we reduce the tax burden on the few and spread it among the many. By doing that, we can incentivize people to come back into the city and enjoy this wonderful place to live.
Yes.
Finally, the third pillar, or the third step of this program is we've got to increase educational achievement in our citizenry.
Yes.
We've got to make our city and our students world-class students ready to compete with the entire world. Let me say, I'm a proud American. I'm proud to have been born here, proud to live here. But by God, we are part of a world system, and we have to prepare our future for engagement with the entire world. To do that, we cannot wait for students to conclude high school before they know the reality of business. We should engage our students, and I recommend, and Michael, I want you to be on board with this. I would like for our students, before they ever graduate from high school, to be a part of what we create as Student Town. Student Town will be 14 blocks of downtown space where we are going to have our students start operating their own businesses.
Wow.
And in order to incentivize them, in order to give them an opportunity to understand what it is to run a business, the city is going to contract directly with those businesses so that they'll have some ready business to transact.
Come on, that's it.
All right. The goal of all of this is to make sure that we not only have people who can work, but business owners and business leaders and world leaders that come out of this great city. I want to tell you, my wife tells me I talk a little bit too long sometimes. This is my wonderful wife here. 31 years. I want to tell you one other thing. The drainage problem in this city. We ought not have that. We cannot say that we are a world-leading city and the slightest rainstorm paralyzes us.
That's right.
Yeah.
That ought not be. But I can tell you that the approach that is being undertaken right now, Marvin, by the present administration is the wrong one. We're trying to pour new wine into old wineskins.
That's it.
We're trying to use or retrofit an existing infrastructure that's really deteriorating. Just because we think we should use that system is not the proper system. And I'm going to tell you a program that we have already come up with. In fact, this summer, Michael, I want you to travel with me to Denmark.
I'll go.
There is a tunneling system that we're going to use. We're going to tunnel underneath Houston without any disturbance to the surface. We're going to create underneath the city of Houston a reservoir through the tunneling underneath. We're going to drain directly into the reservoir. It will be a reservoir of water. We are then going to use that water to service our citizens. The curious thing is, and my wife and I were talking about it the other day, we have looked at stormwater as a liability. It's really a tremendous asset. It's fresh water. And what we allow it to do is to flow into the brackish stream and then into the salty bay. And we lose this wonderful fresh water. My proposal is that we're going to harness that fresh water as it falls in a cavern underneath the city. It will be fresh water for the city. It will be more than enough water for us to use than Lake Houston's reservoir right now. And that will reduce the cost of water inside the city, and we can actually sell this water to other cities. I'd ask you to join on with that campaign. It's coming to Houston, Texas. Right now it's being used in the Everglades. It gives immediate evaporation, immediate removal of water from the surface, and we get away with it. Absolutely. Is it cutting edge? Absolutely. Is it a Ben Hall initiative? Absolutely. That's the new city that we're going to bring to the city.